Time now to pit the women against the men, or in our case, our woman, Manisha Thakor, the co-author of Get Financially Naked, How to Talk to you about Your Money with Your Honey, against our man. He is Ryan Mack, the president of Optimum Capital Management and a frequent participant in our show. Good to see you both. All right. Now, there's going to be some fireworks here. So I invite you to talk to each other. But, Manisha, I want to start with you. A lot of people out there are finding out that their employers are cutting their 401k match. They're not happy. They're saying, you know, times are hard. I'm going to stop investing. Is that the right thing?
Now, to me, you know, it's like when a woman is 30 pounds overweight and she's sitting there agonizing over romaine versus red leaf lettuce. Just eat lettuce. So a lot of women are not saving enough for their retirement. And my point is this. We tend to spend 12 years out of the paid workforce as compared to men. That difference is massive. Over a life cycle, because we spend it in the early years, it means you'll get half as much in your nest egg. So you need to keep contributing.
Ryan, you can't disagree with that now, can you?
Well, I definitely agree with it. And the bottom line is, well, sometimes men get a little bit overconfident, and they tend to trade a little bit more frequently than women do. There's a study by the University of California that essentially studied 35,000 couples and found that men turn over their portfolios about 77% annually versus about 53% annually for women. You know, we all know that the buy and hold strategy works the best. And in your 401k strategy, it's the best place to use that buy and hold dollar cost investment strategy. Those people who bailed out in 2001, 2002, they now know, or 2007 and 8, and when the market returned, they now know about locking in your losses and selling on the low.
Can I just tell you good luck convincing men of that? Okay, Manisha, I want to ask you about investing money. A lot of people invest beyond their retirement. That's typically a great idea because most of us, even if we do the 401k, we still will need more money in retirement. Where do you put that dough?
With someone you trust. And I highlight this because in the news right now we've got Patricia Cornwell, the famous detective novelist, who now is looking for $40 million of her hard-earned dollars because she invested, assumed the money would be taken care of. I see this mistake by women a lot. I really feel you want to take control of your finances. Simple formula you can use: 110 minus your age as a woman, maximum amount you put in stocks, remainder in bonds and cash.
Now, Manisha, you're saying get an advisor. Do you have to get an advisor, Ryan?
Well, I think an advisor will definitely help, but I think the days of going to an advisor without adequate knowledge of what you're getting into, those days are over. I always tell individuals, if I know that if I steal a car and I'll get arrested, that, you know, I don't have to be a lawyer or have a JD in order to have that knowledge. But you do have to have the basis of knowledge. Now, the problem with men that sometimes we might have a little bit too much pride to say that we actually need assistance from somebody.
I'm making the list. So it's pride. You don't stay in your investments long enough. This is a long
Ants in the
list.
pants, yeah.
I have to say that most of the couples that I work with are those individuals. The woman is always the one who comes for the assistance. They're always the one who takes the initiative and says, look, we need assistance. The man kind of just sits back and, well, I don't need help. I can do it all by myself. Yeah. But sometimes it's okay to be humbled and say, I can need a little bit of assistance, but make sure you help yourself first.
It's the car, the metaphor for life, asking for directions every time.
Exactly.
All right, let's get on to emergency fund, because this is a tough question, and I don't really know the difference between the sexes on this one, but you have money that you may need at any time. In this market, where interest rates are so low, where do you put it? I'll let you start, Ryan.
Well, I think that right now, if you look at bankrate.com, they'll show a lot of the highest rates. I think that online bank accounts have great yields. I'm actually telling individuals, look at your local credit unions. They have great yields because they don't have to appeal to profits. And if you look at Maria Shriver, she had a great document, The Women's Nation, that's out now, that's really saying that women are starting more businesses now, and a lot of the growth in a lot of different sectors are coming from women-dominated markets. So the men, they better step it up, otherwise they're going to have to need that emergency fund a whole lot more than women, it seems.
Manisha.
Like.
Well, and the one thing I'd highlight is auction rate securities. Don't forget about that. We saw so many people.
What? What are you talking about?
So a couple years ago, there was this fancy schmancy product that a lot of firms offered their clients where you could put your money in cash and get a higher than average interest rate.
So they offered you a little more, and if you were a little greedy, you would step out and buy that.
Exactly, and then you got your fingers chopped because the whole market froze up. And so what I'd like to tell women is, don't get greedy. You want to make sure, if it sounds too good to be true with personal finance, usually it is.
All right. Okay, I have to get you to this question about asking for a raise, because this is where women fall short.
Right.
Men will ask for the money, women not so much. Manisha, what's your advice?
Yeah, so I really feel you need to ask for it. In fact, there's a new book out called that title, and I suggest women read it. Here's the problem. 80% of men identify with this statement. I set my value in the office place. only 20% of women believe that. And it's really hard. There are all these articles with things like 11 powerful women that make men squirm. So there's a lot of societal pressure for us not to be strong, but we need to encourage each other to do it.
Ryan, I want to get you in here because you probably have good advice for us when it comes to asking for more money.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, most individuals, especially if they like their job, they can be on the brink of being fired for laziness, and they'll still say, well, I deserve to get a raise, you know? So, but what are you doing to deserve getting a raise? You know, do you log and write down all those things so you get to work early? Do you write down all those proposals and projects that you propose and say that let me get that done to increase value to the company, more so than that person to the next of you?
All right, guys. Thanks so much for your help today. Manisha and Ryan, great information, good conversation, and it's good to know that we can reinforce both of the sexes. All right. We all have to worry about money, but for Latinos, the relationship with money can be very different from other folks. Some Latinos, a community leader explains, have never trusted banks.
The community was basically under attack. People were being robbed because there wasn't a safe place where to keep their money.
A little later in the show, we'll speak with the author of The Latino Journey to Financial Greatness. Also ahead, we'd all like to go green and save green at the same time, but can you really believe all the hype surrounding those eco products? We're separating fact from fiction.